Build succeeded.
Okay. All right, what else do I have to do to make this show ready? I need David's camera.
Build succeeded.
Okay. There's a problem here. All right, I see our show's on. Past audio check.
Test succeeded.
No, my cameras are all uncooperating. What's going on here? We're almost there, David. I'm sorry. Let's see. That looks good.
Hey.
Oh, cool. That worked.
The longer you take, the more I can eat scones and drink beer.
Oh, now that's a show.
Mm-hmm.
You're eating scones? Is that what I heard?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Scones.
the green room of TDD.Academy is just a sweet, sweet deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And the Texas Classic here, Shiner Bach.
All right, let me cut up my. All right, I'm getting there. I think we're about 60 seconds away. Host is there. Guests are there. Oh, yep, guest is definitely there. And where's my favorite shot where we have both of us on screen? Where is that? Oh, it's right here. Okay, let me.
You remember what we're doing? Because I'm going to kind of follow your lead.
XCUI. We're going to try to build some XCUI tests today. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
It's always an exciting day. All right, I think we're ready, David. So
Okay. I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, yeah. Let me get to a proper screen here. There we are. Sorry, let me double check that. Haven't. Yeah, I think that will. Whoops, I'm used up a lot of real estate on our screen. Okay, why is that not behaving for me? I must be at the other end. Oh, well, you know what? I think I'm just going to let it go. It's just going to fight. Oh, yeah, there's a better solution. All right. All right, man. I'm going to start this game show called Life. 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to TDD.Academy. This is the show where you get to see me, Lancer Kine, and solopreneur David Kuntz talk about an xCode project. And we do things test-driven over here, so if you don't like that, change the channel and go watch other people who could just write code, and they like to fix bugs, and they like to deal with... They have, like, bug tracking systems for those folks. So...
we don't have any bugs. We didn't write any yet.
Oh, well, you know, we have to release first. But, well, the good news is we probably don't have... I expect we don't have regressions, because we got our... We're in the dev stage still. We haven't released. What else? So, you know what? The last show, we did some stuff. Do you remember what we did last show?
Oh, we were trying to write some UI test with View Inspector, and I think we got wrapped around the axle and run over. I don't think we got anything really accomplished. Am I right?
Well, we ended up getting stuck. So we started out the show working with Tuple, and we were like pretty happy with Tuple. I mean, especially you could create a ticker tape parade with your pairing partner, so you can get some good feelies there. So that was cool. And and yet then we went down the route you just were saying. We were trying to get View Inspector to inspect something. And we learned something. We did. We looked at the docs and it says, hey, you know, working with a help me here. What's that bar called? The toolbar.
A toolbar.
The toolbar view is not supported with Find, which I thought, well, okay, we can just navigate directly there using something. And David's proposal was to use XCUI, which is this cool tool that part of the Apple dev ecosystem. It starts with XC, it stands for xCode. And UI stands for UI testing, I suppose. Yeah, whichever way the C goes. XC, yes. Yeah, those are gang symbols over here. That's a WWDC gang symbol. So yeah, you might get beat up if you go to the Microsoft conferences doing that, but you know.
Yeah, don't give out my home address.
Okay, so then we discovered. Well, so we discovered a couple things. Number one, XCUI didn't help us navigate to the view and to the hierarchy of the view in a way that would help us with View Inspector. The other thing we learned is well, at least my understanding or our understanding was that we should be able to navigate there manually without using the Find in View Inspector, and we'd be able to test this thing. And that never worked for us during the show. So after the show, well, David and I went and banged on the keyboard a little bit, and we hit up Alexi, the big brain behind View Inspector, and he said, "Hey, that's not supported yet." So there we are. We're not able to test that in any way that I know of using View Inspector.
And he sent us the URL to the link that said not, like not fully supported for this part. And so we're like, darn, we could have read the manual ourselves.
I'm telling you, man, the manual told me about Find. It didn't say no comprende anything. So I thought it would work if we just helped it along. So yeah, we are right now, we are stuck. If we want to use toolbars, you can't. We can test everything in View Inspector except for the toolbar. So today we want to test it with XCUI. Oh yeah, sound like a plan, David?
That's a plan.
Okay, sweet.
That's a plan. That's as good a plan as you're going to get around these parts.
All right, good for Friday. So here we go. I got the screen up here. Let's see. How is our test environment? Do we have all of our tests passing?
Look at those green check marks.
Dang, there's a lot of check marks. Man, check. Dave, it must have took you
tests.
It must have taken you hours to do all those checks manually, David.
Yeah, it took like a minute, less than a minute. I mean, and that was for it to fire up and run. Yeah.
Wow. So there we are. We have our automate tests that take 1 minute. He got all those tests checking.
Then there's some UI tests down here and view test that we didn't do. But
that's going to take another, 2 hours maybe?
Build succeeded.
That's going to take maybe another 30 seconds.
Oh, my goodness. Unlock TARDIS to continue? What's this?
The TARDIS is my iPhone.
Oh.
And I've got it synced to xCode right now, so it's actually having to run these over the wire onto my iPhone here, and so here it's running them.
That's the TARDIS, everyone.
on the real, yeah. It's really bigger on the inside.
That's the modern TARDIS, yes. All right.
Oh my goodness, we've got some failing tests, view test.
Really?
Those are probably the ones we left.
Probably. Let's take a look.
Checked out.
Test failed.
Last week. Yeah. And then I'll run these tests.
Build succeeded.
So I have three different.
You have UI test. So that UI test is an XCUI test, right?
It's the one we were working on last week. We'll go into it. We'll look at these failures and see if we can't explain them.
Okay.
So,
explain ourselves to the internet?
Yeah. We'll see. So these two failures, let let me see. Test strike 3, you're out. Yeah, we haven't gotten this stuff to work yet.
Okay, what is this? This is the UI test. I assume these are XCUI. Look, I see here. Let's see. Let me turn on some annotations. Can I do some fanciness? Let me try something.
I don't know that you've asked to type on the screen yet, so you have to like request because we're not running tuple.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying a new tool. Well, an old Zoom oldie but a goodie, but it's I've never used these annotations. I have an arrow. All right. I have an arrow now. Okay. So see this here, folks? XCUI application. So this is the hint that when David has two kinds of UI tests. He has his XCUI tests, which are, he's sort of trying out. And then we have our view inspector tests, which are another type of tests. All right. Yeah. I don't know if you can see what I'm, ooh, wow, that's how that works.
I can't see what you're doing. That's interesting.
You can or cannot? I'm sorry.
I cannot.
Oh, okay. So even in the Zoom window, you don't see that arrow I just slapped there on the code?
No,
What is annotation for then?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yes, I do. Right here. It says Lancer Kind.
Boom! I've tagged the code, David. I tagged it.
You tagged it so small that I just ignored it.
Can I make it bigger?
You got to go bigger when you tag.
You're probably right. How big? I don't know. That's as big as I don't know how to. That's as big as it can go. All right. So this is the test. So maybe we'll go back to and I don't know, enhance. I mean, so we have two situations here. We have UI tests that are one UI test are failing. We just looked at it, and then we have test tab bar strikes you're out. That's probably our view inspector test that we can't do.
Yeah. You want to go down to this one?
Let's just take a quick look, and we'll close the door on that after we take a look, and then we'll go back to XCUI. Man, I got my arrow is still stuck there.
Test the tab bar, 3 strikes you're out. We were trying the same thing. We were trying it in View Inspector, and turns out View Inspector can't go into that particular type of item yet.
Right.
And help us. So I'm going to just delete this whole test.
Geometry reader, because 3 strikes you're out shows up on that. Yep, the toolbar. Very good.
Okay. And then this whole suite, which is one test, should run and pass. Oh, you got to unlock the TARDIS.
You might want to hit your
Test succeeded.
I don't know if those are your notifications or my notifications. Here, I'm going to switch camera a second and fix my notifications.
I'll fix mine too.
I wonder if that's a good feature for OBS. Turn that on for us. Got that OBS devs. That'd be awesome. All right.
And OBS should also learn to provide a nice table full of scones.
Scones with
Blueberry
beer.
scones.
Now that's just, I don't know. The
OBS,
Queen would not approve of this.
Okay. So we deleted the test that we're not going to get to work.
Right.
We'll come back in here to these UI tests. And we've got oh yeah, this one, this test menu items was me trying to record stuff and figure out what was happening. So I'm going to just get rid of this for now, and we're going to start all over.
Sweet. We could show the folks how we used XCUI, which I don't know if we did that last show or not. I'm really unclear on that one. I don't remember if we walked them through that or not.
I don't know if we walked through it well.
Okay.
So the test we want to do is we want to go to the working app. No, it's not going to work there. We want to go to the working app, pull it up, go to the add a new game tab, and then start recording some strikes and balls on players. And I don't even know if we have any of this stuff set up, but that's the kind of UI that we want to do. And we have most of that UI built. but not tested in any way. So this is what I think we should be doing here. If we go and write a new test, and I'm going to just call this record, because this is where I'm going to record my test case. Then theoretically, this little icon down here will pop up and allow us to record XCUI test.
Well, why is that icon there, do you think, David? Like, what? How does Xcode know you're going to do an XCUI test in this?
It knows we're in an XCUI test because that's the framework, the launch target that we're in.
Oh, there we are.
Okay. So how I don't know. It's smart.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it could be part of the schema. Maybe we'll investigate some other time when we're not trying to write code or a test. But unless it's like, yeah, no, that works for me. I mean, that's a good guess. I don't know either.
Yeah, so it's supposed to show up there. See, I clicked out of it and came back in, and now it works. This is a common thing, I think, with XCode that I've heard people, old timers, people with gray hair and long beards talk about. XCode is flaky.
Oh.
I haven't really noticed it, except that, yeah, there are some things that seem to be, I don't understand yet. I just think it's me, not XCode. So now this little red icon down here is ready to record. And so I'm going to push this, and it's going to record a UI test.
Yeah, let me see.
Question I have is, where is it going to pop up the UI? Yeah, it's trying to do it here on my phone, which might be fun. I haven't done this in a while. So there's the app running.
Cool.
I'm going to push the add a new game tab.
Nice. And there it added the XCUI application, tab bar, score sheet, tap. So whatever you did caused this code to jump into to show up in this function.
It's recorded. And then what I want to do is 3 strikes and you're out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tap the strike button, and it put this code in there.
All right.
And I'm assuming if I keep doing that, I would get 3 strikes and you're out. So
Sweet.
That's what I need.
All right.
Whatever's in there. So I think we're done with the recording. So I'm going to just stop it.
Because you're gonna do some copy paste and get the other 2 strikes.
Yeah.
You just like this in the copy paste cop. You and that cop. Holy cow.
That copy paste cop and I are gonna have a big run in.
I had a friend like you in high school, always dodging the cops. The cops and him were just like they just had this thing, tay.
Tay. Can't say I know what that means.
It's a Smokey and the Bandit thing.
Okay. Interestingly enough here, I don't seem to be able to control my own screen right now. I can't delete that line.
What? Do you want me to do it for you, David? Is that a request to?
Yeah, help me out.
Can control
See
it.
if you can hit delete.
Okay. No go. Well, something's starting to happen now. It's warming up. Folks, you may remember last episode, we were talking about how maybe sharing through screen sharing apps is good enough because, why pay for a good pair programming tool when you could just do it in Zoom? But that very day, we found out a lot of reasons because Zoom wouldn't listen to David when he was trying to type in my screen. And right now, I'm trying it right now as well. And it is not... This is the line. Okay, did I delete the line you wanted? Did I get it
No,
out
I
of there?
want to get rid of the face up thing.
Oh, it's a reorientation. Okay. I'm hitting... What is going on, man? I can highlight, but I can't delete.
Okay, and I can't either. So
I'm going to cut. Wow, David. Another bad showing of trying to use Zoom for pair programming. I think I'm gonna retract my remote control, and that might fix everything. Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Hang on. No, I'm not gonna play with that. I'm gonna let it go. There's a couple options there that kind of caught my eye, but I'm not sure they're gonna help any. So how is it going now?
Not
Still
listening
not
to my
working.
keyboard, just my mouse.
Oh, this is not good. Do you
Yeah.
want to?
I'm gonna quit sharing.
Yeah. Drop share and come
And-
back. That's good.
Okay.
I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you over here.
I'm gonna see if this. I don't know if you're back with me yet.
Yes,
but,
I am.
that didn't help.
Oh, it didn't? Seriously?
No, my keyboard is still being ignored.
Ignore. Why would it happen?
But your keyboard is working?
Well, I'm not. You're not sharing your keyboard. I retracted my remote controller request.
Okay, somebody duplicated the line twice.
Can't say it was me, but I don't. Maybe we're sharing with somebody we don't know.
There's a ghost in the machine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna quit xCode.
Okay.
I see all this stuff is working except I mean my keyboard's working.
Now, what happens when
other
you're now that
things-
you're off the? How do I say this? Try any app at all and see if you can make it
Yeah, I
work.
did. I just tried messages and I can type in messages.
Oh, and it worked. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So I'm gonna give xCode another,
XCode.
all right. My keyboard seems to be working and paying attention to me.
Okay.
Um,
Smart memory.
So I think those 3 special lines right there
Yes.
are what we
Restriction.
need.
David, you already got the code for this. You must have already did this earlier. That's okay. Paste it in there.
Except it wasn't working. So I need somebody like you to look over my shoulder and make sure I do it right.
All right.
Okay. So I've got tap a button there,
Yep.
and I want to tap it 3 times,
Yep.
and then I want to expect some text somewhere on the screen to say you're out or something.
All right. There's text. I see assert equals. The text has strike 3.
Yeah.
and-
So
Oh, you were testing your
this-
test or something to see if you can make a failing test. That. Okay.
yes. So
Oh, we got to get the code from that though. We got to get the screen. So we're doing TDD, or have you already built this? Be honest, David. What's going on here?
I don't ever do TDD except in the background where nobody can see.
Okay, because the
Or
one
with
step's
you.
missing.
Yes. So I don't think our app right now will display you're out or strike 3 or anything like that.
You mean our app? Okay, so this app does not show you're out yet at this moment in time. Okay.
I don't believe so.
All right, so now we need to like express. We got to ask the XCUI app to look for something that doesn't exist, and then get the text box for it, so we can confirm that it doesn't say you're out.
Yeah.
All right. So.
I have no idea how to do that.
Ooh, this is the fun part. Let's see here. What do we got? So why not go? I mean, here's an idea. This is always easy if you have an example somewhere else in your code base. You can bring it over here, because the question is, how do we go to app ... stuff and extract some text out of the app? So if you go to app, this isn't going to show up in the toolbar. This is going to show up in a different view. So what if you were to imagine in the future, you're creating this view, what would that view be that says you're out?
I just want text under the home plate.
Okay, and home plate
Is an icon. It is an image. The whole field is just an image. So on top of that image, I just want to put a text.
Is that a label?
It's called text, T-E-X-T. I don't want to use a label, but I could use a label, but that's a different type of object. But,
all right.
Yeah.
So we need to do app dot something. So I'm going to either request control. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try this again. And maybe this is a bad idea, but you know, it's Zoom. It's supposed to let us collaborate. All right. So it started. Let me see what I want to play with that app object and see what we can learn. Because we got app.toolbars, but we don't want toolbars. We want app.something else, and that something else may not even exist. So let's see what we can learn. Terminate. Okay, lots. That's right. This is a very rich object. Let's call it that. Yeah. I'm probably not going to find it fast enough doing this strategy. So my recommendation is we need to either look something up on the internet, how to use XCUI to get a text from a text object. But the other alternative is to not do TDD, put the functionality in there, tap on it, and then you'll know what that object model is. Yeah. XCUI, you need the CUI. Oh, there you need an XCUI though. Okay, it looks like they're doing it. They're giving it to you anyhow. How to test that static? There we are. I think. Well, that's for buttons, and then that first one looks good too. App.static text. All right. Oh, that's true. You can have accessibility identifiers. App.static text. You can then assert whether the string is displayed by adding a dot label on the XCUI element to get the content of this. Okay, cool. So you see the strategy here is so on the first part here, it's telling you, look, you can label your accessibility identifier, which A, helps people with accessibility needs, and B, helps you write your tests. So if you were to give it out an ID, what would you call that?
Out indicator or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, so for now we only think about out. Maybe in the future it'll be more flexible.
Yeah.
All right, out indicator. That's good. So we have some. So we imagined it, and it's going to be there. We're going to have an out indicator on that. Now this is a label. I'm assuming there's a text object that you should be able to do the same thing with. All right. Are you sure there's a text object? Because I didn't know that. It's all right. We'll find out in a moment.
We're going to put a text object there, or I already put it there. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. So the app dot, was it static text? Is that what that said on the?
I copied it in my clipboard.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell the police.
Well, that might be a compliant behavior. You're not copy pasting your own code.
Okay.
You're ripping it off from somebody on the internet.
Yeah, that's perfectly legal, huh? Okay, so we want to be in score game view.
Hold on. We got to write our test first, bro. You're right there in the test. We just got to finish our test, and then we'll go here.
Oh, wrong again.
They have AA. They have meetings for this.
Do they?
I just made it up. It must be true.
Yeah, okay. I can go to I need a meeting.
Yeah, I think it would really help people. It changes behaviors, man. That's a powerful behavior changing.
Yeah. Okay. So I do.
So we don't need this code here. That's for the product code. It's that next line. So back at the example, the next line below showed the XCUI. They used something called static text, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to there, and nothing is playing with me right. What is going on?
We will probably
Sorry.
never use Zoom for sharing again.
Sorry, there it is.
Okay, cool. So see the next paragraph. It's, if you look at the code, it says app.static text. Boom, you just pick it. And then see how he does mylabel.label to get to the
Okay.
mylabel is the static text. And then the text label must be what that means. Let's give that a shot. Yeah, I think that's what you want.
So we want something like app static text out.
You're out, or whatever it is you wanted.
Okay, you're out. That's good. Is that
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Apostrophe.
Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. You're out. Exclamation point.
Is that a capital O or not? Are you doing that for emphasis? Because
Yeah.
all right.
I'm doing that for emphasis. So I've got a label. My label is expected string.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me help you here. So that you're out actually goes in your expected text. That other thing up there, that's your ID, your accessibility ID. The thing that we're going to attach to. So you call that an out indicator? Yeah. Nice.
That reads weird to me, but
it's just a nice.
So you're suggesting that this right here alone is going to search through everything and find the static text that has the accessibility label,
yep,
out indicator, and pull back that particular label, and then down here we're going to do label on it.
Yeah.
And that'll give us a string.
Yeah, and if my label's driving you crazy, maybe call that label reference so that it probably isn't. I mean, you have to decide what a label is. If you think you could call out indicator, well, or out label. I don't know. My label's pretty lame. That's all I can say.
It's lame?
It's my anything as a variable name is pretty lame. my goodness.
My goodness.
That would be a lame variable. Oh my goodness. There we are. Oh, David.
We're gonna try. Oh my goodness for now.
Okay. And then I think you're done. So run the test. We're gonna have a working failing test.
Working test before we have code written.
Build succeeded.
To look over the screen, see if it's coming up. Come on, testy test. Come on. Test McTest face. These things are slow, man. Oh my gosh, he's having to push it over this little bitty wire.
Oh, I see. Failed to get matching snapshot. Well, this might not be the failure we want. LifeWorks baseball is not running. So if you, let me see if I can move this.
Something happened in the test, didn't get to the end device. This failed to get the application running. Let's run it again. See if maybe the second time it.
I'm looking at the log file down here. I'm trying to. I don't see. It just says it's not running. So failed to get matching snapshot running. So whatever, man. It sounds like it didn't get the. I guess that's the problem.
You just used my screen.
Hey, I still have control of your screen, David.
Okay.
Test failed.
Now that. Okay, that's the same failure. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, test case failed. Again, what's this matching snapshot problem? It sounds like it's having trouble pushing the new code out there and executing it, and then it's complaining to us about it.
Uh-huh. Something happened to my xCode environment because I now have I don't have any simulators here,
Oh,
which normally I've got a whole screen of simulators.
why
So
don't we add an additional, or oh, you're downloading? Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I did this a minute ago and it didn't seem to do anything. So
Oh,
click install now and it's not working. So I don't have any simulators. That's why I'm using the phone here.
oh, okay.
Um,
Why? So we had it working a moment ago, and now it's not working. So why would that happen?
Connectivity issues with the
Build
device.
succeeded.
Like, is your cabling on pretty good?
Test failed.
Yeah, it's the same output.
Okay, if it doesn't have anything there and we run
Build
it,
succeeded.
it ought to complain about something different this time.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Test failed.
But it's running the test. And there's no connectivity to it.
So
Is
here it says
trying to do-
failed to get matching snapshot, blah, 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 is not running. So that's the same error. Connector
It's as if
disconnected.
it's trying to run it over wireless, which it could be trying to use the wireless, but
Can it? I didn't know about that feature.
yeah, it can connect to it over wireless. I've done that before, but I don't know how to turn off the wireless connectivity.
Let me think. What would we do here? So it was working a moment ago, and now it's stopped. So can you expand that chevron by baseball UI tests? Let me drive for a moment here, and I'll click on it. Click. There it goes. Well, that doesn't really tell me anything new. I was wondering if, oh, okay, let's go to options. Nothing. Okay, I was hoping to see something about target devices, but I don't.
There are so many options to things.
Yeah.
It's just more and more complicated to build things these days.
How about, so let's take a step back. Let's see, can you run your regular tests just for fun? I just want to see what is working still. And it says xCode will continue when TARDIS is connected. Now that's didn't say that earlier. So
Yeah,
it's prompting
that's what
you.
I was trying to get a second ago by disconnecting it.
Okay, installing TARDIS, unlock TARDIS. Is it unlocked? Yeah, it must be.
I just did it. Sorry, I'm out
right.
of sync.
Test succeeded.
Fetching
Okay.
code coverage. All right, so that ran. And then now if you run run that.
Build succeeded.
Build succeeded. Testing. I'm gonna run and watch that. I'm gonna watch the output down there. Failed. Something failed. Okay, this may have failed for the right. Okay, what's going on here? This might be working. I don't know. I'm seeing.
Well, it's connecting to the phone at least, and the phone is displaying the screen.
Okay.
Test failed.
And that might be the failure we want. Now, how do we refresh this view so that 3 strikes you're out? So it looks like, okay, XC assert true failed. All right, that's what we expected. So when I look at the output, it looks good. I don't like what I see in Xcode on the editor. It's showing the old messages.
Yeah, again, I think that's
Old,
leftover
okay.
messages that didn't get cleared.
Okay. I agree because it says down here that the XC assert true. You didn't use assert true, did you? XC assert, oh, you did accept. Well, maybe, I don't know how smart they are, but that's a little weird. So that's at test Taylor at bat gets walked. Where did that come from? Oh, that's that one. Okay, so that is another one. Okay. Sweet. Okay, that looks right. It you launched an XCUI application, then you assert true that there's an app static text number 17 exists. Okay. So now if we go to, yeah, and notice they're using the literal things that are on the phone, and we're trying to use the ID. Now it's possible that
I think we have to,
both. If it can't find the literal, it goes to IDs, maybe.
oh, okay.
Otherwise, I don't understand. Either that or we got bad information from Stack Overflow.
Yeah.
Can we scroll that? Now go down to the console and scroll back up. Let's see if we can see what other errors, because I'm not convinced that it's running our test right. And I would like to be sure of that before we go further. So that test is called test menu, you're out. So we should see something about that in here.
That's the top.
Yeah. So now let's watch for test menu. Baseball UI tests.
Three
All right, there it is.
strikes.
So test menu, you're out is a little bit, yeah, you got it. It started, it tapped the score sheet, it's got to, wait for things, collect extra data. Okay, failed to get matching snapshot application. See, we're getting that error message again. Why is that happening? So I feel that Xcode is actually showing us the up-to-date information. So why is it working in this Taylor in the player row view UI test, but it's not working in the other one? What's going on? App, XCUI application.
Oh, you know what? I think I might be right. I might be wrong, but there has to be a application launch.
Setup. We have some setup stuff. Oh, yeah, and it's like continue after error, after failure, false. You might want to just grab that block of code.
I think our recording doesn't do a great job of telling us everything that was required there.
Okay, so we didn't do an XCUI application launch. So there's two things we have to do. We have to, well, we don't have to configure continue after failure, but yeah, launch sounds good. All right, I think that makes perfect sense now. The launch didn't have the server running in a way, so it couldn't communicate. So it thought, hey, you're not working right. Oh, is this something else we do?
I really think, I mean, we could do it there in setup, but why wouldn't you be explicit if that's what?
You want to do that before each test. You want, okay, hang on a second. What does this mean? Setup with error. So I would advise following the other one because it works. The setup with error, I actually have a lot of questions now. It says put setup code here. This method is called before the invocation of each test in the class. So that means it's going to get a fresh one when each test runs. So that way, the side effect is probably it's going to reset the UI maybe. I'm not sure. This is an area I'm not experienced enough in. I mean, what you're doing could work, but I'm not sure. So I would say stick with that other pattern.
Test failed.
All right, now do we get a look? There we are. Failed to get. Well, no, that's not what I wanted. Toolbar. Failed to get matching snapshot. No matches found for descendants matching toolbar type. Now what tool? Label baseball. What is it talking about? Some label about baseball, and I don't see anything here about a label baseball. I'm confused. I don't know what that one's about. No match is found for descendant. Matching type toolbar from input. Huh. We have a tab bars. And then we have a toolbar. Okay. And then it says it can't find, and it's on the toolbar line. It's not.
Yeah. It's on this line and it's saying.
All right. Just for the heck of it, go ahead and comment out the tool, those next 3 lines. I'm really
These 3.
Yeah. And run it and see what happens.
Phil succeeded.
Why wouldn't it work though? Your label on toolbar is probably toolbar, or it's just going by the object name. I remember there's some kind of logic about how it defines things, and it maybe starts. I guess it would start with accessibility, and if it can't find that. All right, now look at this. Fail to get matching snapshot. So that's something it likes to say a lot. No match is found for elements matching predicate out indicator. That's what we expected to have happen. So that's okay. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not happy with why it's not tapping the toolbar though. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a failing test. It doesn't have the actions necessary to drive it, but
it doesn't make sense if it can't tap. You know what I mean? It'll never pass. It's an impassable test if it can't make it tap. I'm really confused because you recorded it, and that's the code it came up with. App toolbars toolbar. Can you go look at your product code and see if you have some? How did you name that toolbar? Is it actually called toolbar, or is part of the logic it uses is type if it can't find the?
Don't remember. Let's go look.
And maybe we'll name it toolbar, and that'll make it happy.
So here's the
H-stack spacer balls.
That's
there's your
not
text
the
types.
yeah. Is this the stack? No, that's
I think it keep going down. Okay. Grounder pop up. Okay, hit. Okay, there's your vertical stack. So you're tapping on the, what word was it? Strike? So where's the word strike? Oh, there it is. It's right at the very beginning. H stack. Whoa, there's no, why is there, is it because it's a navigate? Okay, why? I see navigation view and Z stack.
We're confused because we don't really understand the structure here. Let's let the tool give us a view of what the structure looks like. This is going to be way helpful, I think.
Cool.
Until it crashes.
So why?
Wow. It's thinking. I used to say I had a fast Mac, but now I'm wanting a new one.
Maybe it needs a reboot or something. I don't think any of these things have to do with your processor speed. I think there's, we're not asking it to do a lot here. It's just, there's something else not happy. I don't know what it is. I'm going to call it environment gremlins. But I don't see the word tool. Oh, there's a navigation toolbar. There, you found it.
Yeah.
So is that's where the strike is. All right, cool. So now add to that structure the toolbar and add the accessibility label toolbar. and I'm puzzled why I have to do this because, you know, we used XCUI and it told us this is how you could drive to it. Oh, well, isn't this for the whole toolbar rather than the toolbar item?
I'm adding an accessibility I think it has another word to it. Indicator, identifier.
Oh, identifier, yeah.
Yeah. And that identifier is going to be
Strike.
OUT outs. No. Oh,
Well,
this is
for strike. You're just doing this on one toolbar item. I was suggesting you do it on toolbar, but so why do you want to put strike on this one? You're going to change the test to look for that instead?
No. No.
Because then this could speed up your, well, that sounds like an optimization. I'm trying to like kind of do what it was trying to do, which means toolbar needs to have an accessibility identifier of toolbar because it can't find it right now, and which is weird because that's how it did it earlier.
Yeah, XCode is having a lot of problems here tonight.
Can I drive a little bit?
Do you think you're driving? Do you think I'm driving bad?
I want to type in something here.
Okay.
And toolbar dot accessibility.
You can't just add it there.
Oh.
This modifier, if you're going to add it, needs to go at the end of toolbar, which is why I have them right there.
Really?
Yep.
But that's outside of toolbar at that point, right?
It's the modifier on toolbar. Yeah, it's a little weird to learn the structure of Swift, but that's.
All right, so it has to go. You go ahead and show me right there.
Well, yeah.
But that's going to modify the containing objects accessibility identifier. Well, okay, let's.
You said you wanted it on toolbar.
I do.
I believe that's on toolbar.
Okay, let's go for it then. So if you call it toolbar, we're giving the computer what it wants. It said I can't find toolbar. Well, hey, there's toolbar.
What do you want it to be named?
Toolbar. No, I'm not joking, because that's what the test as written was looking for, and for some crazy reason it's not finding it. So now go back to this test code, and it should say, I want to confirm it. We spelt it right. And
where am I?
All right, out indicator toolbar. Oh, it's a capital T toolbar. So we got to change that to capital T toolbar, but otherwise that's good. All right, so, and then I want to enable that code, and I want the bloody thing to work. That's what I want.
Okay, I'm catching on to what you're trying to put out here. You want that,
yeah,
correct?
Yep.
And then you want to go back over to here, and why doesn't it light this up so that I can find it easy?
And then turn that code on and see.
We should turn that on, and we should see a run of this test, and we should get better failure messages.
The one we want. Yeah. I'm looking at the output thing down here.
Test failed.
All right, that was kind of expected, except for the type of problem. It says, no match is found for descendants. Matching type toolbar. That's a type, though. From input. Label application. So your application's label is baseball. Makes sense.
I guess, yeah.
So why... oh, XCUI, what are you doing to us here? So we recorded it. You want to try another recording? Why don't you comment or yeah, let's try this again, because I just can't figure out why I have to baby this thing after it recorded it.
Oh, I've
Build started.
All right, here it is. I'm gonna tap on config menu there.
Okay.
Then I'm going to tap on the add menu. I'm going to tap on config menu again and then add menu and see what it does. Okay. I think it's on the add menu. And I'm going to tap strike, strike, strike. And I don't know if you can see, but there's, I've got a label here and it's strike 3.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Um,
So there's a label, and then I see some output from the.
And then I'm going to quit, and it turned face up. I didn't know that it could do this face up thing. That's interesting to me. And I don't know why it's got AAA icons, but okay.
Huh. All right, so we have again XCUI app initialized. So it did that for us.
Now my damn keyboard doesn't work.
I wonder if there's a connection there.
I think the connection might be it's running.
Oh. It does say it's running baseball on TARDIS still.
Yeah, I went and had to close this thing. Yeah, so I think it was that the keyboard was turned off somehow programmatically in the record motion and stuff. So I had to turn that off, apparently.
Still says running baseball on TARDIS. I don't know. It's gonna be
I don't know where it's saying that, but
it's at the top of your xCode title bar.
I think that's leftover message.
Oh, okay.
Is my guess. It's not a current. Yeah,
well, let's try to run that test. That test should just go through because there's no actually certs in it. It's not validated.
I think it would. Can we simplify it?
I don't. I mean, it just built that, so it should be like gospel. It should just execute that.
But it doesn't have the .launch on it.
All right.
Except we got it in the. We put it in
right.
Yeah, so we don't need it. Sorry. So I just want to get rid of the double screens, but maybe that would. I don't know.
Just run it, man.
Just run it is what you're saying. Okay.
So it says, all right. So it's how did you? Yeah. Okay. So it must have stopped the other instance.
It's running.
Build succeeded.
So we're running this one test.
Test succeeded.
All right. So that wasn't that hard. There we go. And now if we move our cert down into this code, what will happen, do you think?
Well, we don't have anything to assert yet.
Well, go to the other test up there. You have to get that. Oh my gosh, that stuff. Oh my gosh, and down. Line 43.
You think 40. That's what? Okay.
I don't know. I'm not guessing anything. This is, but so let's run it and see if it.
All right. Did we put out indicator in our?
No, but we haven't built it yet. So we expect this to fail on line 70, and that's okay.
Okay.
Because it's going to drive us to add that. Yeah, folks, we're trying to get a failing test to drive us to change a product code. And you can see
it's driving me.
Execution cycle is a lot slower when you use actual visual test tools.
Test failed.
There we are. So why in the bloody heck did it work smoothly here, but not in that section of code above us? That's interesting. What's different? Okay, so we have an app. We have a tab bar. And up there we have app.tab bars. I don't see anything.
Tab bars and toolbars. So
add game button. Add game button. Oh, that's different. Oh, wait. That's just tap bar buttons. Add game. Oh, we didn't add the game. That probably is a big problem, right, David? We must have lost that line.
That line?
Yeah, 50.
Oh, man.
So that's why I couldn't find the toolbar, because the toolbar wasn't there because we didn't add the game. Oh, it all makes sense now.
we didn't tap the button add game, is what you're
Is
getting
that not necessary? I think it's necessary well, you know the app better than I do, but it looks to me like you can't get to the toolbar until you add the game. You have to add the tap to that as well.
Build failed.
You know what though? I don't know. You did some extra moves in there, so you probably. Yeah.
Tab bar.
So do you have to? I'm just asking, David, straight out. Do you have to add a game to get to that toolbar, or is this just extra steps?
No. You're thinking of the object game. No, you don't. The button is named Add Game. There is an object add game. There's an object called Game, but I think I'm missing a couple of lines there. So I needed the tab bar, and I needed the Add Game button. And it'll compile now, I think.
Build succeeded.
It compiled. It's testing.
You haven't tapped the Add Game button though. Do you care to do that, or is that not necessary?
That is necessary.
Okay, so this still won't work until you add that tap. Okay.
Is there a Add Game button tap? Okay.
And I'm assuming the config is not necessary.
Yeah, the config is another screen. So I'm getting closer. I'm learning.
Succeeded.
Sweet. Yeah, folks, this I'm gonna level with you and David all at the same time. Most of my clients, I think just about most of my clients won't. They start out with XCUI for a while, and then they don't feel like they can maintain it and keep it working and happy. So because you can see that it's like a little bit, it's like moving through a river that's pushing against you. You have to walk slowly. I have no doubts that David and I can write that code a lot faster once we learn how to work with those objects, and we'll make fewer mistakes. The difficulty is that many of my clients, some of them have kept theirs up and maintained, and some of them have given up on that strategy. Okay, and what strategy? The ones who gave up use something called snapshot testing. I don't know if you're familiar with that, David, but they use XCUI Test to create a snapshot. So they drive the application and it just does snapshot confirmation.
Yeah, it takes a screenshot and stores it in a data, I think in a file system somewhere, and then sets that as the baseline. And then when you run the new test, it takes that same location, it takes a screenshot, and then it diffs those two screenshots to see if they're exactly the same, pixel for pixel.
Yeah.
And so if you change a pixel, you re-baseline your test.
Yeah. Right. So at that point, you can never do test-driven development. You're back to adding tests later. If you keep it to a minimum, it's a sustainable practice. Meaning you don't. If most of your code is test-driven, you can afford to have like maybe 10% not test-driven. And when we talk about toolbar, we have to have something to solve that problem, and that's got to be either XCUI or something else. Or yeah. What's going on? I didn't pay close attention. Is it working the way you expected?
Oh yeah, we got the failure.
Cool.
That we're looking for
in both of our copies.
Which is an out indicator doesn't exist.
Nice. All right, cool. So let's add the out indicator.
Yeah. So I'm gonna steal that code, piece of code, and come over here, and the out indicator needs to be on something that's going to indicate that they were out. And I think I have something in here which is out. Here.
Yeah. Oh, this is your outs. Isn't it supposed to, to be beneath your. Is this going to show up where you want it? You said beneath the base, the home
Well-
the home plate.
Well, here's,
Do you like my home plate, by the way? Let's see. It's about like that.
sorry, I wish my screen would work here. I wish Xcode would be okay with showing it, but whatever this is all about is failed to install baseball app, could not, I don't know. I'll worry about that later. I'm throwing a curveball at you, Lance.
What's that?
I changed my mind, and instead of saying I want it to say you're out down there, I want it to increment the game outs counter.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Because this is what I and so what I want is for this text here to end up being, you know,
Incremented. Yeah.
yeah, OUTS outs :1.
Change the test, specify it, run the test, fail. Then we got to add the code to increment the outs. And
Okay. The question is, how do I get this? How do I get to this thing?
So we need to talk to, we need to add onto text the accessibility indicator. And I'm a little, yeah.
Identifier and
There you go.
call it.
So would you call all those things counters, baseball, strikes, and outs? Maybe I'm using the wrong, the computery domain, but
Yeah, they're counters.
okay.
If you want to see what they really are in the
No,
thing?
I was just talking about the accessibility indicator.
oh, okay. These are all integer things.
All right, let's update the test.
So I simplified this because it seems like it should be a little bit simpler than
Okay.
saying indicator, because it's an identifier. But so
Oh, just a key point here, David. If I think these identifiers have to be unique. We'll find out. I have a suggestion for you. You want to comment out that code you just added to see if your test will fail, because I'm worried that it's going to find the outs that are on your text and not on the accessibility indicator. So the test will actually successfully find something that we haven't identified. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
So speaking to other folks who've been doing this, they say, hey, the hardest part about this is keeping unique identifiers. And if we have the word outs,
yeah.
it's going to pick it up in other places because it's trying to help us. It's like, oh, you want to find it out? I'll find any out. Oh, look, there's a text screen, there's a button. All of them have to be unique.
How about this? ID underscore
Outs or something.
OUTS.
Cool. There we are.
That's going to be fairly unique, at least right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like your suggestion that we should work with uniqueness so that we know when we're doing something. So now we think this is supposed to work somehow.
Yeah. And now go down to the assert equals and type in what you expect to have. Outs :1. Yeah. All right, done. That's an easy test to add or change once we got the framework working.
Yeah, once we figured out all the.
But you can still feel that the test build cycle is still a little, well, we'll see. We're going to measure it here. I have no timer.
Oh, it's probably waiting for me to open up the TARDIS here.
Semi-automated. You got to have somebody open up the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
Test failed.
All right, that takes about 1 minute, I think. It was less than a minute.
Yeah. And and I don't think it's finding what we hope it to be finding.
Oh, yeah. What did it say? It said it. Okay. No matches found for elements. No matches found for elements matching predicate ID outs in. Well, I'm not sure what that means. I think it might have worked. Hang on a second. What's going on here? Static score game. Why does outs say 2? Why is it saying static identifier toolbar label outs 2? Where did it
Because
find that?
the app's been running in the background the whole time, and when it ran again, it got the second out.
But you changed the code, right? You added an accessibility indicator, label indicator. What? Or
yeah, I changed the code, but this app on the phone is still running in the background.
So it's the wrong app, though. That's not the one with the new accessibility indicator code, right?
Okay.
Because it can't be running twice if you just changed it and ran it, right? That's impossible. You can't change the laws of physics.
I can too. They could have hot swapped that code in.
Well, it's possible if it's hot swappy, but I don't know. It's kind of a tall order there.
Well, yeah. Well, riddle me this, Batman. Coming up, it's got a wonderful error message now, and it's telling me that it's got 2 outs, but it's not finding ID outs.
Yes.
I think this is bullshit. Okay. I think we would have to do something like accessibility in the identifiers.
Yeah. Or another pivot is to say outs : 1, and then you got your test. Oh. Either way, accessibility.
Wow, look at that nice string.
It can't be that. That's just crazy. So you're saying the Stack Overflow guy probably got it wrong. It's possible. Yeah. We didn't read all the suggestions. Oh, accessibility label. Do you see that? But that's a.
Yeah, but it's called identifier.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm going to do a Google on this. Accessibility. This should be easy. This is something people do all the time with XCUI. Accessibility. Identifier. XCUI. Explain this to me, Internet. All right, quickly accessing views. UI accessibility identifier. This is where we need folks to follow us on chat to tell us the right answers as we're going along. Yeah. All right, accessibility labels versus identifiers. All right, unique identifiers are accessibility identifier. Okay, it says it's easy to set. In our view, blah, 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 we do this. And then in our UI test, we find them like this. XCUI dot other elements, some string. So that's what this tutorial on, here I'll share it to you, says. It's a blog, a post about XCUI. I'm just coming at you over iMessage. And there it goes. you want to try this, whatever I just said a second ago? Oh, other elements.
App dot other elements.
Yeah. And then in
And-
there, put in your identifier.
Okay. And then is the
The rest looks
thing
good.
going out of it a label or a text?
Well, okay, in your case, it's probably a text. Do texts have labels? Sorry, I'm not familiar with the object model, so I'm just guessing right now.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay.
It just doesn't seem to me like they would use the term label there.
That's it. I know, but or they're being super consistent and everything has a label. I have no idea.
Well,
So
it's saying here the label is a string, so maybe it is label, because label then becomes maybe later on label became a UI class, so it's a bit non-differentiated.
Build succeeded.
build succeeded.
We're expecting it to run a test.
Test failed.
Okay. And it looks like it says, so it didn't find ID outs. And we did add it, right? And wow. How about, well, I don't know why that wouldn't work. We could let's move that identifier to another object in the hierarchy. So, I'm having a little bit of a Swift syntax throw out when I look at that. And I just have trouble. Is the syntax mean when you do a dot, it means whatever you just talked about, it's going to change the attribute?
Well, in Swift UI, this class returns a view, text returns a view. And by putting a dot and a modifier, those are called modifiers on it, you're saying take that existing view, which is some sort of structure, and modify it, mutate it with this new thing and give me a view back. And so each modifier returns a different type of view, or modifies the existing view and gives you a new view, which are all structs, which are destroyed and created really quickly, as opposed to classes.
So, all right. So this dot is modifying the text object above us. Yeah. And so if I copy that, I'm just gonna make another one. I'm gonna add one onto this. Stick it here. Okay. So now I've redefined.
Change its name and.
It can't find either one, so I don't even care. I'm gonna run the test and see if it finds it now.
All right. I don't think a nav view can have an accessibility identifier. Well, sorry, good try. Let's put it on the image.
Okay. Yeah. Huh.
So we're building.
Build succeeded.
We're trying to test. We're trying to launch test. Launching the test. And all right. What happened?
Test failed.
Test failed.
Oh, so it found the element, or, well, maybe not. Okay, didn't find the element. According to that error message, it's still not finding it. Well, that's just not working.
It's not working the way we think it should be working. So
or this blog article. I don't understand. That's pretty cut and dry. Accessibility identifier. We are using accessibility identifier, right? That we got the right thing, and right. So, huh? For system views, what am I looking at here? Unique identifiers. Huh. Accessibility identifier. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not sure why it's not working. It looks like it's supposed to work according to what I'm reading here.
It's way harder to get this stuff to work when you don't understand why it's not working.
Yeah, I hear you. But these are pretty tight examples, so I'm just puzzled. That's all. So yeah, maybe you might want to. So how are we going to close this thing? Okay, I have a new suggestion. Let's I would take out those accessibility identifiers and let's just search for outs. We'll just do a raw string search using the XCUI. We tried to do it the nice way. It's not scalable to do what we're about to do because eventually it'll find the wrong things, I think, in the UI. But because accessibility identifiers are nice because you can pick the one thing and then see if it's correct. But that's not working for us. So let's go back to in other elements. That part's still okay. Instead of other elements, go outs :1 : (1). You see what I'm saying? So app.other elements is good, and then in in that collection you're looking for outs :1. And if you want to feel good that we can actually find anything, maybe just leave it as outs : to demonstrate that we have mastery of finding anything, and then we'll add the 1, and then we'll have our failing test case. And we don't need the assert anymore because the app.other element acts like an assert for us. It will throw an exception if it. Am I crazy? Will it not? I think that should work.
You're saying we don't need the assert
because if it can't find it, it will complain to us, right?
I would hope so. Let's find out.
Yeah. Either that or we have to access it. We'll find out.
Build succeeded.
Oh, launch the TARDIS, slid it in.
Test succeeded.
Okay. So now add in outs : (1). And I better see a failure. If we don't, I have an explanation because it's something in the mists of my memory is telling me that this could possibly still pass. And then let's see what happens here.
Well, the crazy thing is that the iPhone seems to have past runs of this thing.
Past runs.
Maybe not.
Their test succeeded.
All right, so that succeeded. So here's the thing. I think this is asynchronously doing things, and you have to type in here. Let me see if I can drive. OMG. Oops. Oh, what's going on? There we are. So this should be a text. So I can go label. And all I have to do is this, I think. Well, actually, I'm going to enable this code down here again, even though I don't think I should need it. So in my memory, I was thinking, I recall something about that this could be asynchronous. It doesn't actually do anything until you access the OMG. So let's try it one more time. See if it'll fail.
Succeeded. Test failed.
There we are. Okay, so the reason why it was passing is because when you execute this line here,
Mm-hmm.
it isn't actually executing the line right there. It's just preparing and staging. So I mean, folks, you can keep me honest, check online, but I recall there was a trick here where it's asynchronous. Until you actually go access something on this label, it's not going to do it. So we had to actually make this call here in order to show that outs didn't exist there. You could put garbage in here and it will pass until you actually make a command on this. So there's some tricky proxy, internet network proxying going on.
Build succeeded.
So this one will pass.
Test succeeded.
So you can't rely on just on that, but you can rely on this. I didn't look carefully at this error, at the assertion failure. Did the assertion failure look right to you? Did you pay any attention to it?
I couldn't read fast enough.
So hopefully if this looks sensible, then we just got to implement it.
Test failed.
All right, cool. Test failed because outs.
Yeah, all that stuff looks like garbage to me. Like other umpteen times, because we're looking for other elements.
Okay, so if I put this out, take this out, we should get it passing again. That's the hypothesis.
Build succeeded.
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't make much sense to me either. What it's trying to tell us is there's a collection
And
with
the
a
thing
bunch
I'm
of...
seeing is on the scoreboard up here, I'm seeing outs equals 2.
Oh.
Test failed.
Well, what is that going to do for us then? Wow. I don't know.
We got some learning to do.
I think we got to take a break from this problem.
Yeah. My head's hurting. I haven't had enough.
All right, let's close the show. Yes, today, XCUI
Wins.
was a bit of a rough run, I have to say. I don't like the slow debug loop. I would totally love to do this with the View Inspector, but we can't. So we're kind of stuck. We got to find a way to test it somehow or manually test it. And today we couldn't get our code to properly discover the UI elements to fail. So
Yeah, discovering elements is something I still don't understand in XCUI. I mean, other elements. How am I supposed to interpret that? What gets thrown in there? Other things. You know,
yeah.
I would like something a little bit more programmatic than other elements.
Right on, man. Yeah, a little frustrating. I get it. Me too.
Yeah.
I remember spending a good amount of time on my XCUI, and there were times where I was making progress. You would get stuck for a long time, and then you'd learn something, and you'd finally start making progress, and then there'd be a new thing you have to discover. My biggest issue, again, is always the problem that I describe at my clients is where they just get tired of maintaining it because the speed of discovering if something's going to pass or fail is hard. Now, the good news in your case, David, your app's pretty small. When you're getting the apps where you have to go tip, tap, tip, tap, tip, tap, tip, tap, tip, tap, you have to go several screens in. It takes like 4 or 5 seconds every time to do one of those taps, And that's a lot. That's a really slow test.
Yeah.
If you're not going to have a very deep screen app, then maybe this will work. Yeah.
Well, it's a brand new app. We don't know how deep it's going to get.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get deeper.
Sustainability could be a problem. Yeah. Well, we got a couple. Anyways, we got to go sleep on it and go figure out what we're going to do about that later, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, nice talking to you, folks. We'll catch up with you next week.